available for anyone who is willing to sign on Neo Season to do this. I just download the games and I'm now going to follow how they draft. The setting is best of 7 on Arabia, so they are going to choose 7 civilizations each. But before this, they are going to ban. So let's see their bans. What civilizations they don't want the other one to get. Starting for Liereyy, I don't know if he's going to ban strong civilizations or civilizations that enemy could abuse. So he doesn't want to see Yo picking the Byzantines. Yo just banned the Indians. Oh, let me turn it back. Okay. Just banned the Byzantines. Yo banned the Indians, which are a really good civilization and can counter lots of cavalry ones. Later, Liereyy just banned the Burmese. The Burmese can be a pain in the ass. I totally understand this ban here. Mr. Yo now going for the Mongols, banning the Mongols. Liereyy banning the Spanish. Mr. Yo banning the Huns. Liereyy banning the Incas, and Mr. Yo banning the Berbers. So Mr. Yo banned 2 camel civilizations, which might show that he might be trying to go for some cavalry civils, and he just banned the Mongols and the Huns, the civilizations that are really aggressive and fits Liereyy style. While Liereyy just banned civilizations like the Incas, the Spanish, both are great for thrashing strategies and other strategies as well. The Burmese, which are really OP, and the Byzantines for I don't know what he's thinking. So continuing, now it's time for choosing the civilizations. Liereyy wants the Malians, Mr. Yo wants the Magyars and the Aztecs. It's really interesting. The Magyars are the closest that we can have from the Mongols and the Huns, and there are not too much camel civilizations left to be picked. So this will be really strong, especially now that there's no Huns, no Berbers, no Indians. And Malians, of course, are the best pick for this case. Aztecs are awesome. Mayans, so kind of regular. Koreans for Liereyy, this is surprising. I didn't think that Korean would fit his style. And Celts, Japanese. A lot of civilizations that can shine when going for Russian archers or something like this. In the last series between those two guys, Mr. Yo had some edge when playing with those civs, but in the end Liereyy won pretty badly. He gets the Koreans, the Britons, a few archer civilizations, Ethiopians, another archer civilization, while Mr. Yo has some economy and infantry civilizations, now cavalry again, Franks, Malay, Chinese, Italians, and last we have the Vikings. That's a really interesting lineup. They chose a lot of civilizations, different ones. We can have some regular matchups here, but in the end, this is going to be really random. I don't know how they are going to play in this case. Yep. Let me see. Let's go. Let me watch the games now and comment to whatever is going to happen here. So this is the draft. Really interesting draft. I don't know which one I would rather have here in this case, because I kind of love the Celts, but I also like the Britons. I know the Aztecs are OP. I'm not sure about the Japanese. They are tricky ones. Same for the Franks, the Malay. All those civilizations have no sig run for Imperial. They're not that great in the beginning. I would probably rather have the lineup that Liereyy chose here than the one that Mr. Yo chose. I kind of like 4 out of the 7 civilizations of Mr. Yo, and I can identify myself with 5 civilizations that Liereyy picked, so yeah, pretty even. But those players have really a particular style, so they just draft thinking about each other's style. I don't know what they're thinking apart from that. Let's see, first game, how it goes. And for the first game, we have Liereyy playing with the Ethiopians and Mr. Yo playing with the Aztecs. This is really interesting. Ethiopians can go for really good rush into fast castle. They can go for man at arms. Their archers are one of the best of the games because they fire faster. So they are more like a archer and infantry civilization, more focused on the archer line. But they have really poor cavalry. Not to, they are really poor. If you force your enemy to go cavalry with deceive, you are really putting him in a bad position. Mr. Yo did this to me and I hate it. And in the other side, Mr. Yo have the Aztecs, which have one of the best rushes in the game. Really great for going rush fast castle. Their barracks produce faster. They can produce a really strong feudal age. They can just boom on the castle age and go imperial with few villagers, comparing to other civs. So I don't know how this will go. Another important thing here is that those guys are going all in. So Mr. Yo just finished to steal one boar from Liereyy, who's paying back in the exactly same way, stealing Mr. Yo's boar. So those guys are stealing each other's boars, kind of trading the boars, and that's really awesome. Liereyy is even waiting for his first boar to be eaten while going for the second one. Really interesting. And he has 4 guys on the wood, so he might try to go anything from this point, from rush to archers to whatever. He has 3 forward goats, and that's not good. I wouldn't like to have these goats like this, like the ones he has here, because if Mr. Yo notes it and make a really aggressive strategy, he can block all the goats from Liereyy if he just position his armies, towers, and whatever here. Liereyy is making the loom, already made the barracks, is walling himself a bit more. It seems to me that he's going for men at arms from this build order that he's making here. 6 villagers on the wood. He's sending a few villagers to hunt deer. He's now trying to wall. I'm not sure if he's going to do men at arms or not. Really not sure. And he's going up with population 24. Really don't know what he's thinking. He's now making the militia, so he is indeed going for the men at arms. He avoided going with a low population because by doing so he could invest into another lumber camp, so he's preparing his economy to a transition into archers. That's his plan. Mr. Yo coming, 3 militias on the way. Those militias are probably going to become men at arms. Liereyy knows and is now walling his fruits. The villagers from the deer returned and are focused on the wood. He is starting to build the first archery range, same for Mr. Yo. And Mr. Yo is the one attacking faster due to Aztec bonus. But Lierey's economy looks really good to me, really good. He's making lots of farms here, going for 1 archery range. I don't know what his plan is. A bit of micro with the men at arms, and Liereyy is probably going to fend this off. 2 villagers coming here for Mr. Yo. As I said, those goats are a really weak spot for Liereyy. It seems to me that Mr. Yo is going to make a tower, but Liereyy just noted this tower. Or didn't. It's on his line of sight, but he's not acting, he's not doing anything about it. Now he deleted and is going for the tower. I think he's a bit slow to go for this tower, but he's going. He has archers under the tower, so he will prevent the villagers from repairing it forever, like he's doing right now, and he's going to take down the tower. So this was kind of a miscalculated tower for Mr. Yo because he was not ready to protect it. Liereyy now focusing more on skirmishers than archers. He probably noted the archer range from Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo making skirmishers to counter the archers. But I don't see a second archer range. He's not heavy on the gold. It seems to me that Mr. Yo plan is just to keep making skirmishers from one archery range. Really interesting. Skirmisher fight here. Liereyy having the upper hand. More villagers coming from Mr. Yo. He will try a second attempt of forward with those villagers, but I think he's kind of underestimating Liereyy because only one archer range against Ethiopians. Yeah, this is not going to end well. Liereyy put some forward walls to protect his gold and prevent towers, and is now making a stable. I don't know, he will probably make to only a few scouts, like 3, just in order to break those skirmishers. Let's take a look on Mr. Yo's economy. Also, it seems to me that Liereyy is closer to going Castle Age than Mr. Yo. So he's doing a really good job on the economy, but I cannot say the same for Mr. Yo. Attacking with skirmishers and archers. Now, not making the scouts. He's kind of holding back because he knows that if he just avoids it for a small amount of time, he can go up, and he is going up. I don't even think he's going for the scouts. Yep, he's going back. He is waiting for Mr. Yo to attack, making tower, trying to micro. He has the numbers, but Mr. Yo still has a big pack of skirmishers. Now he's on Castle Age. Upgrading successfully the crossbowman, making an university in order to go for the ballistics, and making another town center, so 2 town centers now. Good micro, and he is going to finish the skirmishers. He has a few knights as well helping. Mr. Yo is fully investing into the eagles. 3 barracks, all the upgrades, now probably a 4th barrack, so he's going for 4 barracks, full on gold. Those eagles have an excellent armor and 5 barracks, so Mr. Yo's strategy is a very similar one that I used a few times ago, that's going full barracks on Castle Age. Right now he has 5 of those, and what he might be aiming to do is to raid like he's doing here, and massing eagles to take down all this army at once. Let's see how this goes. Liereyy is falling back with his 2 town centers booming. He is increasing his economical advantage here. I like what he's doing. Now Mr. Yo going off with the eagles, trying to get the crossbow. Liereyy trying to micro. Forward sig workshop for Mr. Yo. So he's going all in because he knows that if he wins one battle and force Liereyy to go back, he probably will have trouble to hold this position here of his gold. Liereyy is in trouble here. He's having to micro a lot, and eventually, as time goes by, I think that the eagles are having more advantage in this kind of fights here. But Liereyy is doing a really great micro. He's probably going to win this fight. That's for a few people. He's making a castle on the stone, preparing to go Imperial, making the 3rd TC. Now he's going to click Imperial. So Liereyy is clicking Imperial Age, starting to make a few Shuttle Warriors. The Shuttles are infantry unit with really high attack, some good speed, so this makes them a great counter for the Eagle Warriors. Well, the only problem for Liereyy here is that all his goats are under EOS. Whoops! Not all of them. There's one gold here, the extra one that he's collecting. And he's still collecting his main gold. Not anymore. A nice group of shotels. Now he's on Imperial, he can make trebuchets to take down the castle from Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo trying to force some aggression, trying to do a castle here. And with the numbers, Mr. Yo won against the Shuttle Warriors. So having numbers is always good, and now he's adding a few Jaguar. So even if Liereyy is an Imperial, has two castles and has a good economy, he still has not enough gold to fight against Mr. Yo, who is massing more eagles, massing more army, and of course taking control of the gold. Liereyy trying to defend, really the difference to see Liereyy playing from this point of view. He is the one to be more offensive, usually. But now he's trying to take down the castles. I don't know how he's going to deal with Jaguars if Yo manages to boom into them. Oh, and he did a good move here. He's using his shuttles to raid Mr. Yo economy. He's only 3 DCs. And the shuttles are great raiding units such as the Eagles. More shuttles coming here to kill the siege, the mangonel. This castle will go down. There's nothing that Mr. Yo can do. And now, if Liereyy recover the control over his gold, things are not going to be good for Mr. Yo. And it seems that Liereyy is regaining indeed the control. He's even preparing to make a castle, a protective castle here. Mr. Yo is getting without options. He's trying to go to switch into long swordsman, but I don't know about that. Attacking with the trebuchet, spamming shuttle warriors, not making the elite yet, only shuttles. Now he begins to raid. It seems to me that situation is getting bad for Mr. Yo. Liereyy is raiding everywhere here, raiding his base. Spamming to render swordsman. Yep, Mr. Yo is a really bad position. I don't think that he can fend this off, and he knows, and he asks for the GG. So interesting matchup. I think Liereyy did great here. Mr. Yo kind of overcommitted with his egos, and Liereyy eventually survived, outboomed Mr. Yo, and was able to win by going shuttles. They're not so expensive as going for knights or archers or even eagles, so getting a few of the extra gold, probably selling a bit of stone, a bit of food, he was able to keep making those guys here that without the elite upgrade are strong enough to take down lots of eagles. Imagine now that they have the elite, so his civilization kind of helped. That's a great use of the shuttles, and 1-0 for Liereyy. Guys, before I start the second game, I will get myself a cup of coffee because I'm feeling the day today. I just feeling tired. Grandpa Stark is feeling tired, so some small cup of coffee might get the boost that I need to keep casting the series, which is really good. Two great players. Both have potential to win tournaments, in my opinion. And I'm back. Now with a cup of coffee, and we are going for the second game. 1-0 for Liereyy, and the second game, Liereyy has the Mayans, and I think that this is one of the civilizations that can make Liereyy one of the best players in the world, because the Mayans are a great civilization. They have shipper archers, they have the plumed archer, they also have the option of the eagles, which are a great counter for skirmishers in general and can take down mangonels with no trouble. So with this civilization he can mass archers, and Liereyy really relies on his micro. He has a great micro, but we just saw by the other game that his economy is also great. Problem is the Vikings are great in economical terms, and because of their economy they can still mass ranged units and fight off against the Mayans. So I don't know how Liereyy is going to deal with this situation, but let's do what he can. He is trying to lame Mr. Yo. He was able to steal one ship here. For now he's trying to steal the other one. He has the eagle, so in any kind of confrontation with enemy scout he is going to be ahead. He didn't steal any boar. Both players could respect each other's boars. Mr. Yo is trying to recover his ship. He just recovered his Jew ship. That's really great. Nice work, Mr. Yo. Liereyy trying to scout, and he find the boar, and he's now taking the boar from Mr. Yo. That is making the same with his boar. So, ooh, that was a bad move. The boar just killed Mr. Yo's scout after the initial fight that he had with Liereyy. It was a bit weakened. He probably got some hits here around the hill, which make it more dangerous. And now Liereyy is coming to his TC with a third boar, and this will give a great advantage. He will have the scouting advantage, he will have the economical advantage because of the boar. So the situation here is really great for Liereyy. And I just got a subscribe by Sivadkas. Well man, welcome to the channel, hope you enjoy and make this subscription worth. And look at this control, Liereyy is even walking around with the boar, waiting for the perfect time to kill it. That's a great play. Now he's making militia. I didn't, but I will talk about the map right now. Liereyy is getting this backwood here. He has back gold, back stone, another option for wood on the corner of the map. And his map is kind of okay to wall. He can just complete the walls here. They are not the best walls, but they can just hold off pretty well. And he has, of course, the economical advantage of 3 boars right now. He's going to rush against Mr. Yo, who's trying to fully wall himself. He's finishing the walls here. He just walled his entire left side. He's walling right now his front and his right side of the map. He has the Viking, he has this wood, a back goat, and back goats are really nice, but we don't know his plan. Liereyy is already going feudal, which means that his plan is probably switch into ranged units. That's why he's sending all those villagers to wood. He wants to have enough wood to go for ranged units, and he might be able to join Mr. Yo's base. Let's see, this will be an important move. Risky wall here for Mr. Yo. Oh my god, one tile, and Mr. Yo is in trouble. No! He actually did wall here. But Liereyy is trying to break it. He's fighting the eagle. He's going to wall. This was really close. This could go really wrong for Liereyy, for Mr. Yo, but it didn't. And now that he knows it, he just quick walls here on the right side. And he is safe from the rush. But anyway, Liereyy is already on feudal, sending more villagers to the gold, so his plan is to go archers. He has lots of food. He's making more farms here. He's making in the horse collar, so those farms are going to have more food. And he is starting with archers. As for Mr. Yo, not so many villagers are actually a good number of villagers on the food, but not enough for a fast castle. So he's going also for ranged units. So quite a similar game for both players, both going for ranged units, both adding archery ranges right now. Not so fast archery ranges actually. And oh my god, Liereyy is already here with his archer. Mr. Yo now has 2 archery range, he's defending, making more walls. Liereyy trying to pressure, but he now defended, making a second layer of walls using houses as well. Liereyy trying to attack, Mr. Yo just defending. Liereyy just completed his walls here. On the right side is only open on the bottom. And guys, he is already going up. I'm impressed. He went for only 1 archer range. He only made a few archers in the beginning. And he is adding stone walls. He even added a tower to his gold. So I suppose that his plans to go plummet for sure. And that's an interesting choice. I myself lost a game to Mr. Yo by doing this. I went at only 1 archer range and tried to switch into plummet archers, and he just outmastered me with archers. So I wish Liereyy a bit more luck, because I hadn't this luck. He already has the stone for the castle, he's making it here on the wood. His map is going to be really safe, he's adding another town center here on the gold. He now has the resource to make a 3rd town center, he'll probably do it here. No? No. Another town center over there, a new subscriber, it's Nivlat, welcome man. So 2 town centers here for Liereyy. Now he's even making ballistics. Actually university, and I believe that the plan is to go ballistics. Mr. Yo now starting to boom as well with crossbowman and making the +2 armor for the crossbow. I'm curious to see how Liereyy is going to do about Mr. Yo's crossbows, because he has a great number of crossbows. And is also adding a 3rd town center. The economies are really similar. The archer number is a bit better for Mr. Yo, but Liereyy has the plummets which are a bit stronger, so I don't know. Kind of close map, and Mr. Yo bringing now a villager to make a forward Zig workshop in the top of this hill, so he wants to pressure Liereyy. That's nice. Liereyy now trying to pick a fight with the plummet archers, and that's a great number of plummet archers. He is winning the fight even against the mangonels. He had the upgrades for the plummet archers, and they are indeed really strong and were able to win the battle. Now he's winning the 2nd battle. Mr. Yo is trying to switch into a few skirmishers, because those are a bit better against the plummet archers, but I don't know how this is going to end. Liereyy now adding barracks and making Eagle Scouts, but Mr. Yo is going Imperial. So we have Imperial here and ranged units for Mr. Yo, and extended castle now going Imperial, and maybe a transition into Eagles. I don't know what to think about this game. These plummet archers are great, but Mr. Yo is really decent walled. Trying to defend with the skirmishers. Now trying to attack. Liereyy has this goal denied. There's a forward castle here for Mr. Yo on the top of the hill, and that's a great offensive position, but I don't know how he's going to deal with the Eagles, because those are great units to kill arbalests, skirmishers, siege, anything that Mr. Yo can do right now. Mr. Yo advancing with the capped run. Liereyy only now on the Imperial, so This extra time might give the game to Mr. Yo, or maybe Liereyy will be strong enough to use his egos and plummets, and he's attacking. He's attacking, and in the open field his arm is faster and his arm is also stronger. Now he's going for the El Dorado, the hit points for the Eagles. It's going to be great. He's defending from the siege using the Eagles, killing the ranged units, he's raiding, taking the TC fire. Mr. Yo is trying to switch now into infantry, but it just seems to me like that Liereyy has a big advantage here. Mr. Yo trying to make a defensive castle here, great positioning. He made the castle, he is now defending against the castle and will probably take down the castle from Mr. Yo, who just resigned. Well, thing is, Mr. Yo wasn't expecting to fight Eagles. If he was, he wouldn't try to force those runs so early and would probably try to switch into Berserkers or Longswordsmen. But even so, the army from the Mayans is faster, it's a bit stronger, the counters are great, and both Eagle and Plummet are superior to Arbalest and Champion. It was a kind of hard game. Mr. Yo had the upper hand on the economy, but he couldn't translate this into actual advantage when the fight actually began. So 2-0 for Liereyy, and great performance. Sivak is saying that Sivadcast is saying that he loves my tutorials, the build orders, and they have helped him. Well, that's nice to hear, man. Hope they keep helping you. I'm going for the third game of the matchup. And now Liereyy is using the Chinese. He's a great player with the Chinese. The Chinese have a great economy on Castle Age, and they are great for going anything from archers to knights. They're really flexible civilization. Their tech tree is really complete. They have great units. They have the camels. They can go even for cav archers if they want. And their economy is also great. They were one of the favored civilizations in the early days of Age of Empires, the Age of the Kings. Before any of the expansions, they were dominating Civ. And Mr. Yo is going for the Magyars, which were his first pick. I could consider this to be one of his strongest civilizations, and they have great cavalry. On the Imperial they have great cavalry archers with extra range, so those two civilizations have a lot of strong points. Let's see how players are going to deal with this. Chinese have to make a different start. It usually goes by adding one more villager to the food, like Liereyy is doing here, with 7 villagers. Now he's getting the deers, luring a bit. Going for a lumber camp here on the back. And let's talk a bit about his map. He has a really ugly gold. I can't see him walling the map, but it's not the most easy task. He can probably wall the left side and wait for the enemy on the right one. And that's bad, because the Chinese can be really better if they can wall. But he's trying to wall already. He's making some effort. He has the 2 wars. Mr. Yo is luring. Mr. Yo has 2 big chunks of wood, so his wood is great. But his gold is forward, so he might have not an easy time defending this. Liereyy seems to be coming for archers because he's on gold, trying to make a few walls for his economy. Now adding the archer range, he's even add spearman and tower to protect his gold, and Mr. Yo is trying to deal the damage with the scouts. Scouts, and more scouts coming, those with the forging already. Liereyy just making farms and defending. Mr. Yo already switching into 1 archer range and a blacksmith. He probably wants to make a few skirmishers to defend from the archers. But as the Chinese, I will just keep massing archers and attack only on the castle age with the crossbowman, because I would expect my enemy to be doing the archer range and the skirmishers, and Liereyy knows that he wants to see it. He doesn't have the range to attack the gold, he cannot kill skirmishers, so he's just waiting for Mr. Yo, who happens to be attacking here on the right side. Trying to break this palisade here. Liereyy just walling, now going castle, and he uses the fact that Mr. Yo was attacking him fully to try to join Mr. Yo base. Now he knows he probably lured Yo back and he's trying to go back home as well. Mr. Yo following him, he's going back for the hill. 2 towers on the gold, which make this a great position for defending. So he knows this is a weak spot of his map and he's doing the best he can to protect it. I like it. Now adding a stable, because with all those skirmishers, Mr. Yo can be really troublesome. He's adding the ballistics. He always adds the ballistics for his crossbowman. If there's one thing you can expect for sure is this. And he's making a transition. He's adding a second stable and he's making a few camels, he's making knights. He just killed the palisade and is trying to attack Mr. Yo, who's making a second town center, who has a tower on the gold. He killed a villager, now he's going back. Going again, now elite skirmishers and knights, and this is dangerous for the crossbowman. So his plan will probably keep messing the knights, and that's a strong combination, knights and crossbows. He has both of the strongest, one of the strongest units on the castle age, of the regular ones. Crossbowman here, he deals big damage here to Mr. Yo, who's not collecting gold. He is still only 2 town centers, so he sacrificed a bit of his economy in order to keep making army. He's now making the +2 armor for the knights. I don't know where Mr. Yo is going. Losing this gold position was really bad for him. Liereyy will just camp here for as long as he can. And this is looking more and more bad for Mr. Yo, who's now adding a town center, recovering a gold spot. That was a good move. He's now fleeing away, letting Mr. Yo build the 4th town center. But I don't know how he's going to react from here, because he's making that dummy ring. He has a good pack of camels and knights. I don't see Mr. Yo winning any fight, so he'll probably keep pressuring and even putting on some mangonels or battering rams. Battering ram it is. He's now adding the battering ram. Going back. Trying to attack. Liereyy is going for the town center. He knows he has the bigger army. He has the advantage here on this fight. Attacking with the run, attacking with the crossbow. Now he killed the town center, killed more villagers. Still the villager count is alike. Both players have a similar villager count, but Liereyy has a great offensive position, and I don't think that Mr. Yo can stop this army here, not in the next 3 minutes. And in 3 minutes Liereyy can do a lot of damage, and he is even going first to the Imperial Age, so situation is really bad for Mr. Yo, who's now really behind on the villager count. He has 20 less villagers, his army is weaker, he's trying a transition into cav archers. Liereyy just adding more and more crossbowmen, so his plan is to go arbalests for now. Mysterio for the first time trying to attack, but it is too late. This is really how Liereyy thinks, how he works. He defends when he have to. He knows how to wait to attack. He chooses his fight. He never fight a battle without knowing that he can win. So he just messed the archers and waited for the enemy to come. This was really an interesting thing. So I will get some water before I keep casting this. But guys, this is already 3-0 for Liereyy, and I believe that he's going to win the series. After winning the first 3 games, I couldn't expect it to go in any other way. So let me make a pause. Okay, I'm back. And I'm here to cast the 4th game of this series, and I feel like Mr. Yo is in a really bad position against Liereyy, and now Liereyy has the Malians. The Malians are one of the strongest civilizations in this game. They have huge bonus, they can go and play as archer civilizations during all the Castle Age. They have strong cavalry and infantry for the later ages, and their economy is really a big shot because the bonus of the wood and the bonus from the gold are really helpful. So I don't know how Mysterio is going to play against them, but Mysterio have has the Celts, which are also a great civ, and oh my god, he just lost a villager to the boar. Don't know if it was laggy, if he was trying to focus in another task, but he's not doing his best game. He has a villager stuck on the wood, losing villagers to the boar. I just feel like his morale is a bit down. Of course, after losing 3 games, who wouldn't be feeling this, huh? And that's interesting. He's collecting wood on both sides. Liereyy is making a few men-at-arms, so he has a great economy. He knows that Mysterio might try to go for a Drush or men-at-arms, so he's doing a few men-at-arms of his own. Mysterio is trying to push with villagers and men-at-arms. And Liereyy here with 2 lumber camps is already adding more farms and another archer range to defend. So I like how he is playing. This early archer range might be really helpful because right now he's making archers, and this can be really good to fight against the man-at-arms of Mr. Yo. This tower will probably go on, it's going on, but that's not the best tower. Now there's a second tower here that will completely take this wood. Liereyy is trying to defend with the archers. He's trying to send the man-at-arms to attack, and Mr. Yo is doing the classical man-at-arms into towers push, and he's doing it with the villagers here. He's collecting stone. His economy is being really sacrificed, so he needs to do damage to Liereyy. And I think this is a hard task because Liereyy has archers. Liereyy is now securing his stone, and his gold is safe, so I don't know how he's going to defend. He's also trying to counterattack with a few men-at-arms. It feels like Mr. Yo is in a bad position because I don't see he advancing here with more towers. Liereyy will probably not let him because he has his archers to protect. Mr. Yo now trying to add a few archers as well to defend a skirmisher. Liereyy attacking. The villager advantage is already growing now and is in favor of Liereyy. And look at this economy. Liereyy has this amount of farms, all this big pack of farms here, while Mr. Yo only has like 8 farms, 9 now, so he will probably advance first to Castle Age. He's even investing a few extra stone that he has in towers to defend himself, and he'll probably just turn into knight on the Castle Age. I don't feel Mr. Yo will be able to win this game, guys. The advantage is just too big for Liereyy at the moment, and Liereyy is still attacking with the archers. Going castle. Going back with the archers. Mr. Yo trying to defend now. But Liereyy is already upgrading the stable. Then for the knights, upgraded the bloodlines. I don't know what he's going to do. He's adding knights actually. Adding another town center here. Adding the +2 for the knights, so he's just making a few knights, and I just feel that Mr. Yo will have lots of trouble to defend here if Liereyy invests in the attack, but that's not the case. He's just adding a few knights, making more town centers. He's going for the 3rd town center, and with this he's going to outboom Mr. Yo, who is spamming pikemen. He is kind of investing lots into pikemen. It feels like he thinks that Liereyy is massing knights, but the truth is he's just making it from one stable. While booming. Now the pikemen are repelling the knights. Liereyy won't fight this, he's just running off. And is already adding a castle, and with this castle he can make the Giberos, which are a crazy strong infantry unit, especially in this case that they have to kill pikemen. Here comes the Gibero and knights, that's a great combo. Now he's attacking, he's inside Mr. Yo's base. The Giberos also have an excellent speed, as you guys can see, and with their range it's easy to take down a few villagers. They are a kind of a better version of the throwing X-Men, in my opinion. The only thing they trade is a bit more hit points, that I will trade 10 out of 10 times. But Mr. Yo is defending because he has great number of pikemen. He's also making mangonels. He has a forward castle here. Liereyy already has a second castle and is going Imperial, which means that he is full boomed with almost 100 villagers, 33 more than Mr. Yo. The 2 castles are on the hill, he's maxing the Giberos. Mr. Yo trying to boom, but less than 70 villagers, trying to go Imperial as well. He probably thinks that he's going first to Imperial. That's sad, because he's not. He's defending with the mangonels. And Liereyy is on the first to go to Imperial. I feel like Mr. Yo might just break at any moment now. He's on the Imperial, but with a really bad economy. Less than 70 villagers, 40 less than Liereyy. That has a really greater economy. He's trying to attack. Attacking the mangonels, trying to attack the pikemen. Attacking more and more, and eventually Mr. Yo says GG by the moment that Liereyy will just keep making Giberos, light caps, strong units, good units for raiding, and the Celts are not a fast civilization. So these guys puts a brief end to the series. I was expecting it to be more balanced, but Liereyy just won it 4-0, so well, I wanted to have more fair games, but Liereyy doesn't. He's not so much into the talking here. What a badass, huh? So that's it, guys. Basically 4-0 to Liereyy. The other series, if I'm not mistaken, ends in 4-1 to Liereyy. So he's really dominating Mr. Yo. And the maximum number of DCs that he does is always 3 DCs. He's really always making army, always aggressive. He is kind of cool with the economy. I see many players go for one lumber only, like I did, like Mr. Yo did here. But instead, what he did was to decrease a bit his uptime to feudal in order to go for 2 lumber camps. And he did this in 2 games, the Ethiopian and this one. Also the Mayan, so I kind of like his style. He seems that he knows what he's doing. And I don't remember, the only game that I felt he was being pressured was the first one between Ethiopians and Aztecs by the time that Mr. Yo tried to go starve him, but in all the games he kind of outboomed Mr. Yo. The exception was the Magyar one, but he was not outbooming Mr. Yo, but he was always ahead with the army count and the map control, so really excellent performance. Just felt like Mr. Yo didn't put much of a challenge. I'd rather see Liereyy playing with someone that can beat him at least twice, like Doubt. Doubt performed better against him, so anyway, that was a bad series for Mr. Yo and a great one for Liereyy. I hope you guys enjoy it. I really love to watch those games because I can see the maximum potential of those guys, and I hope that if you guys are seeking for commentaries on these games, you can find it here. And I'm going to link the games, they are linked here on the video. And you can watch them by yourself. You can try to copy their build orders, try to understand how they work the economies. And those are 2 great players, and I recommend watching any kind of games from those, especially when they play against each other. So that's it for today. I'm going to stop here. That's it for me today. I'm really tired. I'm going to rest. So, GG.